Right now, Princeton University is dealing with a meningitis outbreak. 7 students have been infected by a rare strain of the bacteria called meningococcal B. Right now, there is not an approved vaccine for it here in the United States. It's going through the approval process. It was just approved, in fact, in Europe and Australia this year. But now Princeton will make that not yet approved vaccine available coming up in December for certain students. It'll be paid for by the university. The university says the CDC recommended that they make the vaccine available.
The CDC and the Food and Drug Administration would allow the use of this vaccine for this particular situation at Princeton University.
To read more about this particular strain of meningitis and about the vaccine, we are tweeting a link to more information from the CDC right now, so be sure that you're following us. We're at WJXT4. In the meantime, regardless of where your teenager attends college, this outbreak should certainly be a reminder about staying healthy on campus. Joining me now to discuss more about meningitis prevention is Dr. Vandana Bade with the Mayo Clinic. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You read something like this and you think, okay, it's in New Jersey. I don't have to worry about this is so far away. But the reality is we know that college students travel, and
right.
you have to wonder if you have a student who's at FSU or even locally UNF or JU or the University of Florida. Do you have to worry about this kind of strain, rare strain of meningitis? Should parents be concerned?
Well, I think it is possible. Meningitis is spread, it's very infectious, and so just because it's at Princeton doesn't mean that it can't be brought to other campuses. Meningitis is a very serious disease, and an infection and inflammation of the lining of the spinal cord and the brain. So yes, I think it is possible to be in other college campuses.
And how is it spread then?
Well, close contact, so air droplets, sharing the same types of cups, glasses, but having close contact. So it's not spread by objects, but people really have to be in close contact, meaning in dormitories or barracks. Those are the other area where people can get infections.
You know, when I've heard about meningitis, it's in vaccinating my children who were young, and you get so frightened about meningitis, particularly in young children, let's say under the age of 2, because they can die from it. Is this kind of strain and meningitis in general, I mean, can you die from it if it's not, found early enough?
Yep. This would be a medical emergency, so it's very important to seek medical attention right away if there's any signs of high fever, headache, confusion, stiff neck. It is a very strong infection. And there are different kinds of strains of meningitis. There are meningitis that's more common in younger infants and toddlers, and then this particular type of strain is more common in older teenagers and young adults. But any type of meningitis, bacterial meningitis, is very, very serious. And yes, people can die from it.
When you talk about the symptoms, is it easy to confuse the symptoms with another illness, for example, the flu or even the cold, that you shouldn't? Is there one particular thing that sets it apart from those symptoms?
Well, I think it is easily confused because, of course, you have muscle aches, joint aches, fever, not feeling well. These are all the same things as influenza. But the stiff neck, the severe headache, inability to look at lights, these are all unusual symptoms that would not be consistent with the flu. So if you have any of these kinds of symptoms, or you're concerned, you're not sure, or you have a family member that you're not sure may be ill with meningitis, it is very important that you seek medical attention right away.
We've heard that this is something that they've had, in the United Kingdom as an example, and we certainly don't know anything about those students who have been infected. But is this something that we should all consider when you have a lot of foreign exchange students, for example, that are coming from other countries that are here, which is why it is so important, regardless of whether or not this was in Princeton. But, these could be students who are coming from other countries that are coming here to the United States. And you just have to kind of consider the fact that there are, even though it's something that's not here in the U.S., but that it could get here to the U.S. through a student who's been traveling from home.
Sure. We always say that any infection is just a plane ride away. So it can be spread. And the best that you can do, of course, is hand washing, not sharing cups and glasses and other personal items with other people, getting your vaccinations, including the meningococcus vaccine if you're going to college or you are a military recruit, and all the vaccines that are appropriate for that age.
And I think probably the key here is talking to your college student, your teenager away at college, and reminding them of those things. Don't share cups and things.
Right.
It is difficult when you're living in a dorm.
Right,
I certainly
sure,
know, and you have
sure,
good friends,
right.
but it's so important to teach them that. The other thing that I will just say, because I have worried about this with my own children because I'm just a worrier, but you know, I'm often told that if you touch the chin right to the chest, and if it really hurts, that's a real sign of something real severe.
Right.
Of a
Well,
problem.
that's
they
the
can't
stiff.
do that.
Sure, that's the stiff neck. Sometimes they have it because there's lymph nodes or swelling in the neck, but often if somebody is holding their neck and not able to move it, and they have a fever and headache, that's very, very concerning symptoms, and you should go ahead and see the doctor right away.
Dr. Bidet, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for that
Thank
insight.
you.
Do appreciate it.